And so, my dear ones, here we are in a new month. Believe it or not, October has come already. And every time it does, I always think of the first line of a poem I learned as a very small child in school. October gave a party. The leaves by thousands came. That was the first line. And I love that poem. I love all the ones I learned as a child. They were very wonderful. And so for us here in our community, our international community of Science of Mind and Spirit, we are focused this month on cosmic connection, which is conscious connection, and the understanding of what that means to you and to me. I mean, that's a kind of a metaphysical and esoteric kind of expression. What does it mean to you and to me right here and right now? What it means that we're basically and fundamentally and most importantly all the same, even though we demonstrate differences. And so our focus this month is to understand our commonality and the sameness that flows through all of life. How is that? It is because there is a cosmic divine pattern stamped on every aspect of life and living, in every living thing. There's the same stamp, the same pattern of the divine, infinite, intelligent beingness of life. And that's what we're called into focusing on this month, how we are all the same. Because until we look at our sameness rather than our differences, we're never really going to get this thing called integration, and we're never going to experience this kind of unity and harmony that everybody and everything and everyone tells us in and from the metaphysical and spiritual great wisdom of the ages that can be accomplished. And yes, individuals do, have done, are doing now, and will always do that amazing thing called self-realizing and coming into the awareness that this is so. And of course, when everyone does, who have managed to achieve that status, it's like, oh my gosh, all the weight of everything and anything is lifted, and there's total trust in life and living, which is called spiritually divine surrender. Now, don't get your knees in a knot with that word surrender. It does not mean defeat by any manner or means. It means you've arrived at the stage where you have understood the oneness of life and living, the integration of life and living, and you have come to understand that openness is the answer to everything. Openness. When I was in college, I came across one of my really favorite teachers at the time, not in physicality, but through the books and lectures and so on, Alan Watts. And he pointed out very much that to an enlightened mind, the universe appears to be vitally and surely and certainly perfectly right in every given moment, without the need for further discussion, argumentation, judgment. It is perfectly right in every given moment. And then, after he goes into a diatribe, he sums it up in one sentence and says, in other words, it is safe to be open to life. It is safe to be open to life. And did not Einstein say, toward the end of his time on this plane, there's one incredible question that we can all ask ourselves, and the answer is very important to us. Is the universe a safe place? And everything depends upon the answer as far as living your life fully and well. And along with that, there is the definite focus and the definite invitation from those who have reached an enlightened state to study the power and the importance of what it is to be open. What it is to be open to life. What it is. And you can think of openness to life in this way. You can either be one of those people who have come to understand that in order to be open, I must detach myself from always having mind control, and be open and receptive to heart connection. To get ourselves out of always wanting to be in control to always wanting to be connected. Because that's what openness is all about. Stepping away from the need to be mind controlling all the time and move into the heart's desire to be connected and engaged all of the time. So you could see it in this way. You could see life as, what is openness? And what's the difference between openness? The difference between openness is this to life. I can choose to sit in the bleachers, on the sidelines, and have a great discussion about life, or a great argument about life, or a great, war-like debate about life. Or I can go to center field and engage in life through connection. See the difference? And I think too many of us are too inclined to sit in the bleachers and just form our opinions about what life is, while the people in center field are truly engaged in getting on with it. And Paramahansa Yogananda has pointed out so many times, and I love that man, especially in his book called The Cosmic Christ. He had a profound regard and respect for Jesus, the master teacher. And in fact, in their temples, as far as I have known their temples, and I've known them a lot in the past, they had their three wonderful spiritual leaders, teachers, and masters, and alongside of them they had a picture of Jesus. The four people would always be there. And that's how high a regard that the self-realization centers had for the master teacher Jesus. And he talks about life again being divided into three categories: the mental and the physical and the spiritual. And he says that they are conceived of as springs of living water from which humanity can quench its thirst. And that Jesus was the one who brought that very vividly to life. And Jesus would always say, and the scriptures, the Christian scriptures would always talk about the waters of living life flowing from the heart of God. And so what you and I could really get a grip on today and for the rest of the month and the rest of our lives is just the one thing. If we got that, I would be very happy within myself, and I'm sure you would be too. That to stop all the time endeavoring to be mentally in control and to be very much more heart-like and be more engaged and more connected in an experience rather than a theoretical preamble going on constantly in my mind. There is a big difference. And Paramahansa says that. He says there's a huge and vast difference between the theological and dogmatic theories of religions and their practice. He said the gap is huge between the theory and the practice. And you can probably find that in your life, as I can find that in my life if I so choose. I mean, really and truly, when I'm connected, I have much more of a chance of getting something accomplished and done and achieved with especially people who seem to be very different from me. And I know that in practice, in experience, from all of my work with interfaith groups. And there are so many different groups, you'd be surprised with regard to the arena of religion. But when we get in there, what we do, the secret is, if you like, is that we focus on the practice. We don't focus on each other's doctrines and dogmas and theological diatribes and so on. We focus on practice. What can we do for the community and the wider community, and what can we do to bring the world together? That's what our focus is. I mean, I sat for a whole year on the board of one of the largest council in California for interfaith, and I was quiet, just taking it all in and getting to know the players and so on and so forth. And then it didn't matter to me what people believed in as a spiritual theory. I got to know the people. I knew who they were, and they were solid and beautiful and wonderful individuals who just wanted to make a difference and just wanted us all to get along, as Rodney King said way back when. Why can't we just all get along with each other? And that's what we were focused on. We were connected, and we were engaged in actual spiritual action, spiritual experiences that we would engage ourselves in to do something, to achieve a goal, to make life better for someone or many, depending. Getting out of ourselves. We were not interested in mind control and convincing each other intellectually of one thing or another. We were far more heart connected and engaged in actual practical help wherever we could be, a practical help. Connection, engagement. Oh, words are cheap, are very cheap. Theories are, okay, but really we mustn't get lost in them to the point that we don't understand there's an application to every spiritual concept, and there's an engagement implied as a result of knowing something. Yesterday, we had a wonderful time in the sanctuary. We had the first graduation for our ministerial students. 4 of our ministerial students were graduated, and my goodness, it was certainly a journey to get to the point where we could make it all happen safely. And speaking to those ministers, I had 3 minutes or whatever. And so what do you say in 3 minutes that could be meaningful? And so I said, well, you've had all the theory. You know all the information you need to know. So here are a few practical things that probably will help you coming from the life that I have lived and learned from. And it was, you can never serve people in the way that they want to be served adequately. You can't. No more that you can ever love somebody the way they want to be loved. You can't. You can only serve people or love people as best as you can. As best as you can. And if you stay closely connected to the source of your being, and that infinite energy that called you to this ministry, you will serve wisely and you will serve well. You will love wisely and you will love well, but you will make mistakes. And don't be surprised. And be okay with making mistakes. This is 3-dimensional planet Earth. It's a school. And I'd be generous in saying it's a kindergarten school, I think at times. At best, grade school. However, within the kindergarten and within the grade school, there are always students who are ready for the next level and are beyond the kindergarten level, beyond the grade school level. And you can see it and you can experience it. It's always been and always will be. So it doesn't matter what grade, planet, or experience we find ourselves in, everything is open to us. But in 3-dimensional planet Earth, We have a long way yet to go as a collective, to being grown up. Because we're not connected enough to each other. You can see that in one family, never mind go beyond the roof you live under. And so what are we going to do, and what are we going to be, and who are we, for goodness sakes? And it doesn't matter what's going on in the outer world. It's always been the best of times and the worst of times, always on planet Earth. It's always been thus. So are we going to be in fear? Are we going to be afraid? Because that's what keeps us separated from each other. Fear and doubt keeps us separated from ourselves, our true self, and from each other. Are we always going to blame that and decide that's why I am the way I am? Or are we going to say, oh, for heaven's sake, I'm done with it, I'm finished with it. I want to be open, I want to be receptive, I want to be connected. I want my heart's desire to be fulfilled. That I should be able to and can come home to the self of myself, grow up and self-realize. And I don't need anything outside of myself in order to do that. I have to be my own champion, my own spiritual champion. I have to be my own, midwife. I have to be my own attendee to all that I seem to need and want and desire, so that I can feel that I am fully functioning on this planet or whatever dimension I'm in. And it's not going to happen for me as long as I am depending on persons, places, and things outside of myself. Yes, I want to be in an environment that's supportive. Of course I do, and so do you. But I'm not going to get that unless I myself am engaged. And I'm not cut off from myself. I'm not separated from myself. And if I'm not, I won't be cut off and separated from everything out there either, because that's the way life works. And if you don't believe me, test it out. I don't want anybody to believe anything I'm saying. I want you to believe what you've learned to be the truth by testing everything out. People come to me and they say, I want to earn money. I say, go for it. With your whole heart, your whole soul, your whole power, your whole might, go for getting money. Bring in as much money as you possibly can bring it in, because you have to do that to realize that's not what you want. But you won't know that until you have enough of it, and it's not giving you what you want. Because that's how we are. We think we're like, we're like butterflies popping around all the way. Of course, they're very purposeful, but only in the look of a butterfly hopping from this to this to this to this. That's the way we seem to be. Okay, if I only could, and then we get it, and it's not that. Oh, well, if I only could, and we get it, and it's not that. Well, if I only could, I have it, and it's not that. It's not that. It's not, because it's never about what I only could get, or the success I could be in the outer world. It's always about what I truly am and need in order to be that. And what I need is to wake up and stop driveling, or as Shakespeare said, mewling and puking in my mother's arms. There is no mother to pick me up on this plane now and carry me. I have to be my own champion, and so have you. And you can be, and you could be absolutely the best ever, as could I. Here's the key. We're not going to do it alone. We won't succeed and achieve alone. We need each other. But what we need each other to be is the best of themselves. Not to take care of me, but to be the best of yourself. And get people around us that are endeavoring to be the best of themselves, because they're not selfishly absorbed. They're self-absorbed by spirit. And so as that, they will automatically be a wonderful presence to be in, and they will be a very real and present help. So what I want for myself is what I want for everyone. To be myself with the capital S. To be the best of myself. And to stop playing so low down on the scale of energy. To stop picturing and seeing so many small pictures. To stop being less than what I already am. Isn't that what you want to be? Because you can be. I mean, I want to really remember how I was as a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old as far as their zest for life is concerned. Their engagement with life was so awesome, and their faith in life so powerful, and their quickness to get over everything. To get over everything. They could be crying and their little hearts could be breaking, and that always squished my heart when I saw that in a child. And the next minute, you distract them. It's like a puppy or a kitten. You distract them with something else, and that's it. It's over. It's done. It's forgotten. And only the parents remember and stay in the energy of being heartbroken and whatever else. And I told you before, I've seen parents fight over children because the children had fallen out. An hour later, the children are hugging up on each other and playing games again, and the parents are still miffed and peeved with each other. It takes the parents longer to come out of that. Some of them never do. So what's your life going to be, and what's my life going to be? And who are you going to be this week and this month and in this hour and then in this moment? Who are you? Because you're changing all the time. And so am I. I might be this one minute and that the next minute, and therefore it looks like dichotomy. And all it is flitting in and out of different energies. I'm still the one same solid thing. So are you. That's never lost, and it's always supreme. But because we flit in and out of energies or mood swings or whatever you want to call them, it seems like we're different people, and it seems like we've multiple personalities. We don't. We're one and the same thing all the time. But we're in charge of our energy. That's our power. And that can go any old which way to the four winds. If I am not engaged, connected to it all. If I'm separated from who and what I am. And if I'm separated from who and what I am, I'm going to doubt myself, and I'm going to doubt you too. Because as I think and feel about myself, I'm going to think and feel about you. That's the way consciousness works. As I see it in my own life and living, I'm seeing it in yours and everything else out there. So the call today is, my dear ones, wake up, get a grip, snap out of it, rise up, straighten your shoulders, spiritual shoulders. Well, of course, your physical ones too would help. And be who you are. And when you forget, say, oh my gosh, I'm falling into forgetfulness again. Okay, wake up, gently, gently. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You can be different. You can be different. I tell myself all the time, you don't have to be this, you can be different. You don't have to accept this, it can be different. You don't have to think this, you can change your thought. So if it's going to be, you're the one in charge, you're the one empowered, you're the one that has the ability to know for yourself what you want to know for yourself. To do for yourself what you want to do for yourself, and not think others have to do it and know it for you. Although it does help when they help out in that way too. Because how can I know something good for you? Because I'm connected to you. I'm in your consciousness, you're in mine. And I can project into your consciousness a good thing, a good thought, a good feeling. If you are open and receptive to receive it. See? Absolutely. As I keep reminding people, I have 2 practitioners at least. And so, my dear ones, know who you are, for heaven's sakes, And it's not all the nonsense that's going on in your life. It's not all the disconnects. It's not all the disappointments. It's not all the failures. It's not all the blue moods. It's not all the ailments. It's none of that. That's not who you are. That's an experience you're having. But who you are is solid. You are part and part and part and part as a breath in the one life. And as Ernest Holmes says, never separate yourself from the one. Never, 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 never separate yourself from the one. To do so is to not know the truth, and especially in time of need. So I'm going to leave you understanding that life is a good and wondrous thing. And to keep your curiosity, you must have curiosity for what? To move into awe and to move into wonder and to remain there just like children. I know they drive you daft at times because everything is why, until you say to them, why is a letter with a long tail? Anyway, my dear hearts, this is what you are. You are a point of light. You are a point of life. You are a point of power through which the infinite wants to express itself in all its radiant magnificence. The question is, will you let it and be its outlet? That's what I'm leaving you with today. And I know your answer is, of course. Why not? And so we are going to move on now to understanding that life always wants us to enjoy and have enough. And so that our enoughness is always plenty. And so from that plenty, we can share, which is what we do in our little celebration at this time in our service of our prosperous life and living. And so it's an opportunity for us to take our wonderful gift and all that it represents in our blessing hands. And remember, hands are always for blessing. And say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. And you and I can rejoice in the giving and sharing of our good and release it with that sense and sensitivity. It's making a difference. And what I give returns to me, pressed down and spilling over. So that always sobers me up when I think of that word, because I know, therefore, I only want to give what is good, and I want to be a giver to life and in life. And so it is, my dear ones. And so go through this October knowing that the Spirit within you is mighty, and that no matter what the appearances are out there, you cannot allow the muddy waters to drown you. You must go, and I must go, to the wells of living, springing water within and be refreshed as we drink from them. The amazing grace of Spirit, the presence of Spirit, the love and the life and the light of Spirit. That's what feeds us. That's what strengthens us. That's what nourishes us, and that's what keeps us safe and sane, my dear ones. So follow the protocols. Please, please, please wear the masks. Please, please, please wash the hands. And please, please, please honor the distances. Yesterday, if anybody sees pictures that were on the internet, there's one picture with the ministers and they don't have masks on, but they are holding their breaths, I can assure you. They begged and pleaded and implored, and we practiced what they would do in holding the breath and so on until that picture was taken. It was taken in a flash. On went the masks. We are in this community endeavoring to keep the protocols. So blessed be, and may you prosper in your spiritual awakening, and may you unfold all that amazing grace that you are, and may you, like a champion, be in life and living, knowing I am Spirit's very real and present help on this plane, because you are. So God bless you all. Take care of yourselves and each other, and know we have you wrapped up deeply, closely in heartfelt prayer. And that we're here any way we can be here for you, to be of service to you, but you must let us know. And thank you so very, very much for your support and keeping our centers' energy open and expressing in the world through your especially financial support just now. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you, and we know it'll come back to you pressed down and spilling over. And for all of our people in all of the world with whom we are one, may life be always rising. May goodness always be experienced. And may helping hands always reach out and help those who are in need of a helping hand at this time. And to all of my family in Ireland, hello, hello, hello. Lovely to be in touch with you all. And to all my beautiful spiritual family, love you lots, love you dearly, you know we're here for you. And to all who have joined us, maybe for the first time, thank you so much for joining us and being in our company. We hope you'll join us again. So, for now, know all is well. And we're going to have Andy play us out with the peace song. So as he does it, just register what jumped out for you to be and to do, and just feel the peace that passes understanding.